So Al, within the Free Methodist Church USA, what is Acts 12:24 churches?
It's a good question because our MEG board members would know that we're a Free Methodist church. And actually there's 1.1, maybe 1.2 million Free Methodists around the world. We're organized in different countries, but the Free Methodist Church originally began in the United States of America, but since has established organizations that are just like we are an organization here in the United States. There's other Free Methodist organizations that are brothers and sisters. They're not like subservient to us. We don't lead all of the Free Methodist organizations around the world. So we have from our tradition this label that we call an organization is called a conference. And we talk about a general conference. So the general conference is, for example, the Free Methodist Church USA is a general conference of all the Free Methodist churches in the United States of America. There's slightly over 1,000 churches in the United States of America. So if that's all of the churches, each region is organized in what's called a conference. So you go from a general conference to an annual conference or a conference. And so Acts 12:24 churches is one of somewhere between 25 and 30 annual conferences of the Free Methodist Church in the United States of America. They use the title annual conference because the regional networks meet once a year. And so they talk about general conferences and annual conferences. So we, as a conference, we call ourselves the Acts 12:24 churches. We are located in the eastern United States, although we have mission points in different parts of the world as well. And we're just over 100 churches, but we also have a development network, a church development network that has just over 100 churches as well. Is that a pretty good answer to the question?
Yeah, so that's a general overview of kind of what it is. So what makes Acts 12:24 churches really unique as compared to what makes it just stand out from other annual conferences?
Sure. Like all the other annual conferences, we elect our own superintendent, our senior apostolic leader, we call a superintendent. And the superintendent works with the teams who give leadership within the conference to cast a vision. So we have, as an organization, we have structured ourselves in regional ways so that we put leaders into regions at the front lines of ministry, so that rather than having a strictly concentric leadership approach where we have one superintendent who leads all the churches, we actually have 7 regional superintendents. We have a superintendent who works with Central African ministries. And so our approach to this is we provide centralized oversight but distributed authority. We've developed regional organizations of MEG boards in each of the regions and entrusted them with a high-level responsibility. And we say that the mandate of our approach is that we want to always be working to steward well all of the resources God has placed within our influence. We want to expand every year. In the last couple years, we've been expanding at a rate of 7 to 8% a year. But we also want to get to a place of rapid multiplication where we produce groups and churches that rapidly reproduce new groups and churches. And right now, we're just on this leading edge of saying what would be a pathway to send workers into the harvest field to start 1,000 new churches in the next span of time. So it's a very unique culture. We are the most rapidly growing of the conferences in the United States, and we are actually now the largest of all the conferences in the United States.
Wow. So how does Acts 12:24 churches, as a large conference, manage all of the CMCs? You said in a different video there's over 100 CMCs, and there's 200 to 300 current ordained pastors within our network. How does Acts 12:24 churches manage all of that information within our system?
Sure. Well, because there's between 25 and 30 annual conferences in the United States, there is one central office for the Free Methodist Church USA. It's in Indianapolis, Indiana. And there's an Office of Ministerial Education and Guidance, or Ministerial Development and Credentialing, I think it's called. And many of the conferences work through that office for the management of all their information and for the oversight of much of their pastoral development. But what we've discovered as we've become larger, that having all of our process, communication, and information management go through an office in Indianapolis is not real efficient. So essentially what we've done is we've set up in our own office many of the processes that used to be done for us by a denominational office. So in a sense, just the size of our organization has made it necessary for us to do our own process. Like people who want to become ministerial candidates, they don't open a file with Indianapolis anymore. They now open a file through our website as an annual conference. A lot of the managing of information then is done in our office rather than through an office in Indianapolis. Some of the smaller conferences don't have the resources or really the need to develop a frontline office like we have. So many of the other organizations, other conferences do work through Indianapolis.
Great. So if you're interested in learning more how we are stewarding, expanding, and multiplying today, you can see acts1224churches.com. And if you want to learn more about the management system and what makes the Acts 1224 churches of the Free Methodist Church unique, go to the same website, and if you click the MEG page, you'll be able to learn more about the MEG process.